Hello and happy Thursday. Sorry, I know it's Thursdays that we usually go live. I lost me for a second though, but hello. Happy Thursday. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. We're just going to let everybody hop on. We're going to let Sarah hop on, and we are talking all about dairy. So it is National Dairy Month. So why not talk about dairy? So I'm excited about that. And I'll be able to share with you some resources as well too. So we're going to give everybody a second to hop on. Ashley's here with us. What's going on? Thanks for joining us live. I'm going to pull up some of my resources. One of my favorite resources is actually just americandairy.com. It has a lot of really good information on there. We got Sarah here with us. Donna's here with us. Sarah's
Sorry. Drinking and eating my broccoli.
Sarah had a call. We were on a call before this, so we're like, we got to make sure Sarah's nice and fueled. But
I had to go in between my two meals. Yeah. Had to split my meal up. I had my meat first. Then my rice was still cooking, so I had to eat my wings from the air fryer. And then I got my brown rice. And my broccoli was in the microwave. It's just like not together. It's just split up.
And it's, hey, you know, as long as the food's getting in, and it's like tough too because brown rice takes forever to cook.
I should have started a lot earlier.
We've been doing this week with the cashew chicken we made, the bagged bird's eye brown rice that we just throw in the microwave. I love it.
That's really clutch. I like that. I also like the boil in bag. Like I just
love
get
that.
the rice.
Yep.
Just throw it in the pot with boiling water. It just cooks like pasta, and then you just take out the bag and it's cooked perfectly. So
yeah, it's so good.
Both those things are exactly. But no, I had to do the long way, so waiting for like 45 minutes for brown rice to cook in a pot, which was great.
It'll be nice and fresh though, you know.
Exactly.
So yeah, Ashley says I'm all about the microwave rice. It just takes time. It gives you time back because nobody really wants to sit around for 45 minutes, and I don't like to be cooking for 45 minutes. So hey, why not do it that way?
Exactly. I was just doing chores, so I'm like, might as well just throw this rice on. So.
Exactly. So we're talking about dairy today. First, we're going to go over what a dairy product is, and then we're going to talk about there's 10 essential nutrients in dairy now, not just 9, there's 10. Which
wow,
is awesome.
They found another one.
They figured out another one. That's what my mom was telling me.
Wow.
And then we'll talk about, benefits of dairy, low fat versus fat free, what we should be doing, and then also chocolate milk too. So, Sarah, why don't you lead us off? What are our dairy products?
Our dairy products, well, I'm sure everyone knows this one. It's milk. Milk, it usually comes from a cow. We do have goat milk, but we usually rely on the dairy milk from cows. So cows, they're awesome. Ice cream is another dairy product, a summer favorite. Then we also got our cheeses. Most people I know, a lot of my clients, they're cheese fanatics, and I don't blame them. Cheese is just so good. Then we got cottage cheese, yogurt, which is another dairy product. There's just so many different dairy products out there.
So butter can also be considered a dairy product too, obviously, which is great. And then also kefir is another one as well that you might see a little bit more. Same thing with cream cheese, sour cream. All of those are dairy products. I have been asked before, is eggs dairy? Eggs are not dairy. Eggs come from chickens. So eggs are not considered a source of dairy. But like Sarah said, the milk, cheese, yogurt, all of that stuff, all sources of dairy. So that's a good positive there. What about the recommendations? What do you usually recommend, Sarah?
They usually recommend at least 3 cups of dairy a day. So usually that could be like an 8-ounce glass of milk, a serving of cheese, maybe a cup of yogurt. There's so many different ways to get your dairy in because dairy plays a very big part in bone health, and because of the vitamin D and the calcium. It doesn't have as much vitamin D, but definitely the calcium. The calcium is a big key factor, and it's also a great source of protein too. So it's good to get dairy in for all of those nutrients.
And they say the 3 servings of dairy a day because that will lead you to that 100% of your need of calcium. So it's very easy to do it that way of just like, I can have a glass of milk with every meal. Ashley says, I feel like dairy gets a bad rap. Why is that? I think in my opinion, because it's people not understanding the farming process and not understanding kind of what goes on. You often hear that argument of like, we're the only species that, drinks the milk from another mammal. Well, we're also the only conscious species that is out there that has done the research and everything. And clearly, most people can tolerate milk. I believe the statistic is like under 5% of the world is lactose intolerant. So most people don't actually have an issue as far as milk wise, but I think there's a lot of miscommunication of what goes on in the dairy industry. So farmers love their cows. I know a dietitian who is also a farmer. Her and her husband called, I think they have over 1,000 cows. They call them their ladies. The primary thing that they do for their cows is make sure that they're comfortable, that they have a good environment, that they get the best food to eat, because that means that they will produce the best, highest quality milk. They don't want stressed out cows. They don't want their cows to feel, bad or anything like that. So they'll go above and beyond to make sure that their ladies are taken care of. And you might hear like, okay, well, antibiotics in milk and hormones. There are no added hormones into the milk. There's no RBST or anything like that. And if there even was any of the RBST, it's not a hormone that would impact humans. It's nothing that we have receptors for or anything like that. So there's no hormones in milk. And same thing too with antibiotics. They cannot have antibiotics in milk. All milk is tested after it is taken from the farm. And if they find antibiotics in the milk, they trace it back to the farm. They have to dump all of that milk, and the farmer has to pay $36,000 in that dumped lost milk. So the farmers really don't want that to come back in their milk.
Mm-mm. No, it just proves that a lot of people, dairy gets a bad rap. I think some people think they can't tolerate it, but it just might be other health problems going on as well. Some people may just don't like the taste of dairy, so they just like of milk, so they associate maybe milk with all of their dairy products as well. So I get like dairy, it's just everyone has a different view on it, and there's just, like Emily said, a lot of misinformation out there that people just hear it from one source and they acquire it and spread it as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a great way to get nutrients in. It's cost effective too, because your gallon of milk is like $2.50, $3 at most, which you can't get 16 cups of anything right now for $3 at most. So it's another easy way that you can provide. Actually, it's 13 essential nutrients for your family that are needed, especially when kids are growing and getting older as well too.
No, for sure.
So some of those nutrients are iodine, which is really important for our thyroids to make sure that they are functioning properly. Potassium, which is an electrolyte. Selenium and zinc. Protein, obviously, is a huge part of it, about 8 grams of protein per glass of milk. Vitamin D, which obviously helps with bone health overall. You get about 15% of your overall daily value from 1 glass of milk. Phosphorus, which helps to build strong bones in your teeth and good tissue growth too. Vitamin A, which is for skin and eyes. Riboflavin, B12, pantothenic acid, which helps your body use carbohydrates, fats, and proteins for fuel. Niacin, which is very important with development. Selenium, iodine, zinc, potassium. So all of those are found inside of milk. You get so much bang for your buck out of a singular glass of milk or a cup of yogurt. They have all of those nutrients in them.
Yeah, it's a really, like you said, cost effective and really good bang for your buck, because you're getting so many nutrients that you wouldn't realize are essential, but they are essential to making sure that we get enough in our body. So you're getting so many of them just from that small glass of milk that you probably think, oh, there's not much in this. It's just, how can this have a lot of nutrition? But it does. It has so many different things. And a lot of those vitamins and minerals you find in plant products, meat products. So you're getting, since cows are considered an animal and they consume produce, that's probably you're most likely getting a lot of those different nutrients.
Yep, exactly. So Sarah, what is your take when you're asked like, okay, between low fat and fat-free dairy, what do you usually recommend?
I personally always recommend low fat dairy. I think it's not as filtered as fat-free dairy. I like that a little bit of fat there because it keeps me satisfied a little bit longer as well. And I think it just tastes better overall too. I'm not going to go for something that I don't like to taste as much. And if people prefer the taste of fat-free milk, go ahead and do it. But if they're asking me which I would recommend, I would definitely recommend the low fat milk myself.
So I usually drink the fat-free milk, but that's only because I don't like thicker consistencies of milk. But for everything else, I'm always using like low-fat cottage cheese. I'll use the low-fat yogurt. And studies have came out to show as well too that we do not need to go fat-free with our dairy, that having low-fat yogurt has no increased risk of obesity, heart disease, or anything like that. If anything, the people that had some of that low-fat yogurt are able to maintain their weight a little bit better because, like Sarah said, the fat helps with fullness. So if you're fuller for longer, you're going to have less of that snacking, less of those cravings. I've even found it with myself that if I have, fat-free, like the Oikos yogurt, I'm hungry within an hour. But if I have the 2% milk fat Chobani Lime, I am full. I'll pair that as part of my breakfast and I'm feeling good. And it's because it has a little bit of extra fat in there. That fat fills you up, whereas protein keeps you full.
Yeah, and usually too, those fat-free products, like those fat-free yogurts, to compensate for the fat freeness, they add more sugar in there as well. So if you're looking and
Exactly.
you don't want as many added sugars, definitely go for the low fat option instead because um, they don't have as many added sugars compared to the fat-free products do.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
So let's talk about how we can get those 3 servings of dairy in, Sarah. Like,
Hmm.
yes, obviously we know that we can drink, 3 glasses of milk a day, but what are some other ways
Hmm.
that you might include it?
So starting with breakfast, really easy. Definitely you could start your day off with some yogurt. So just get like a cup of yogurt or whatever the serving size is, and then add some fresh fruit on top. Usually I
Mhm.
do blueberries. I love blueberries with my yogurt. Something about it just tastes so much better. And then I add some granola too, because the yogurt is considered a probiotic, and then the granola is the prebiotic. So the probiotic part feeds on the prebiotic. So then you have a
Mhm.
healthier gut too.
Absolutely. So I
Hmm.
would even you could do cheese on your eggs. That's another easy way to
Hmm.
get in some dairy at breakfast time. I've even
Hmm.
done before a cottage cheese bowl for breakfast when I
Hmm.
was working at the nursing home. I could eat anything that I wanted in the kitchen. So I would go and I would grab a bowl of cottage cheese. I would crumple up crispy bacon inside. I would put everything bagel seasoning on top and then pair it with a piece of fruit and an English muffin. And it was one of my favorite breakfasts that I would have when I was working there. It was so good and so filling, and you can do anything with cottage cheese. I like savory cottage cheese. I don't like sweet. So I did roasted tomatoes a couple weeks ago to have with my lunch. I put that on cottage cheese with balsamic reduction. It was amazing. It tasted like a caprese salad, and it was so filling and very high in protein too.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I'm not a big cottage cheese fan myself, but you could probably also do something similar with like yogurt per se too. If you want like a not as sweet yogurt, like just a
Yeah.
non-fat plain yogurt, you could do that as well. Some other thing I do for breakfast is I make overnight oats in the morning, and you might think,
Mm-hmm.
how is that dairy incorporated? So with overnight oats, I add a cup of milk in there, and then I also add like a scoop or two of yogurt, so about a quarter cup of yogurt. So I'm getting
Mm-hmm.
two sources of dairy in there at once for some extra protein with my overnight oats.
I love that a lot. The
Hmm.
cheese that you throw on your sandwich, that's a very easy way to get the dairy in.
Hmm.
I made breakfast pizza this past week for lunch, and what I'll do is I'll put cottage cheese in with the beaten eggs, and then what I did was scrambled my eggs. You don't taste the cottage cheese at all. The cottage cheese melts, and it's so good. It tastes delicious.
That's like trending right now on TikTok too, adding cottage cheese to your eggs because it just melts in your
Hmm.
mouth, like you said.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it keeps them like more moist, and also the
Hmm.
texture is so much better too.
Yeah, for sure.
Love it. So, lastly, let's talk chocolate milk. I love chocolate milk. I think it is one of the best refuel drinks that you can have out there. And that is
Hmm.
because we talked about all the different nutrients within milk. We talked about the 13 essential nutrients. But also, when we are post exercise, we are looking for a 3-to-1 carb to protein ratio. So, we want to have 3 grams of carbs per every 1 gram of protein. And you guessed it, chocolate milk has that.
Hmm. It has it because it has that extra little bit of syrup from the chocolate. So the chocolate syrup
Mhm.
adds that little extra carb. So you could have the regular milk if you want, but if you just want that perfect, something really quick and easy, just pour yourself a glass of chocolate milk. It's super good for I don't know about you. I drink dairy after I work out, and it just goes
Mhm.
right into, I just feel it being absorbed in a way for some reason. I always crave dairy after, and it's because of that perfect 3-to-1 ratio, because the carbs help enhance the protein absorption that you just had from working out. You just worked your muscles. It needs a little bit of refuel. So the carbs help enhance that absorption.
Also, too, when you're working out, especially if you're doing strength training, you're utilizing all of those carbohydrate stores that happen in your muscles. So we have to replenish those, and the easiest way to do that is by getting carbs in post workout. So chocolate milk
Hmm.
should definitely be a go-to. You'll see at the finish line of marathons that they hand out glasses of chocolate milk because it is so perfect.
Hmm. And if you're someone who doesn't like chocolate like me, you can just have a regular glass of milk and
Hmm.
add a fruit source instead too, so that you still
Exactly.
get that extra carbs instead. So that's usually what I do if since I don't like chocolate myself. I know I'm crazy. I get that all the time, but just showing you an alternative.
No, that's a
Hmm.
really good point, Sarah. Awesome. So
Hmm.
I think we kind of covered it. Anything you want to add, Sarah?
No, just don't be scared about dairy. I know, like someone mentioned, it does get a bad rep, but as we showed, there's just so many benefits to it. So don't be afraid to go out there and get your ice cream every once in a while.
And it's also been shown too that it does not cause inflammation on the body. If anything, it can actually help with reducing inflammation in the body. So
Hmm.
don't believe everything that you see on TikTok or whatever your favorite wellness influencer is pushing. They might be spewing some wrong information. Go ahead and
Hmm.
ask your dietitians here. That's what we're here for.
We bring all the facts.
Exactly. And also too, we are going to be launching a week-long 5-day program that is July 4th through the 8th on how to meal prep like a pro. So we're announcing it here tonight. It'll be in a private special Facebook group. It is $39 for 5 days of access. There'll be daily handouts. There'll be daily trainings as well too. That'll be pre-recorded and upload to that special Facebook group, and you'll have lifetime access. So if you're interested in this, you're like, you know what? I want to learn how to meal prep like a pro. I need all the help that I can get, and it's really good information that we haven't taught here before. Just comment down below and we can send you the link to buy it. The final price will be $49, so it's $39 until next Friday at midnight, when it will go up to $49, and we start July 4th. But it's going to be a fantastic program that I've been working on, and it's going to be so much fun too.
It sounds like a great time. I know everyone loves to learn about meal prepping, so I think that's awesome.
Yeah, we are doing never before talked about stuff, as well as we'll be giving away a prize pack for those that are inside the paid program. We already have somebody inside. So if you're interested in this, this is your sign. Just comment down below, just say meal prep, and we'll send you over the link to join us. $39. That's the cheapest program we've ever run.
Sounds like a steal.
Awesome. All right. Well, have a great night, guys. Thanks for joining us. We will talk to you all soon. Be back next week. Coach Emily Kay and I will be going live to talk about convenience meals. She is the queen of coming up with convenience meals. So you're definitely not going to want to miss that next Thursday night, I believe at 7.
Sounds exciting. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.